Bitcoin did come close, so let's go right in. At this point, you all know what I'm after if you've completed the... You're aware that I'm viewing the Winning Trader series. Does it prove? If it does, we should expect to see a return to 70,000 at the little pivot top, which serves as resistance. Now, I'll admit that I did pull the trigger on a small short at 64,000 and a change. I'll show you how my trading is technical based and very simple. To be honest, I don't use a ton of crazy indicators and other nonsensical stuff on my chart. Let's play ball. With MTX moving approximately 100,000 BTC, the price of Bitcoin fell more than 3%, leading economic anxiety. Renewed fears regarding MTGX-related activities contributed to Bitcoin's slump, which saw it fall below $163,000 after reaching a high of $165,000. But it is quite probable that the exchange moved around 92,000 BTC, or around 5.7 billion, out of its cold wallet in anticipation of repayments to creditors. This shift accounts for a quarter of the overall value of the trade. Assets storing Bitcoin as MTGOX is ready to pay out creditors. The market went into a tailspin, worried about a possible sell-off, but according to some analysts, these fears might be overblown and not reflect reality, even though the price dropped. With a short-term holder cost basis, a realized price of $164,800, Bitcoin is still hovering near important support levels. In addition, BlackRock CEO has said that Bitcoin is a digital gold hedge and a good addition to anyone's portfolio as a protection against economic volatility. Come and be a part of this video with Gareth as we delve into Bitcoin and more. One thing I want to show you is a retracement that I made using Fibonacci. Starting from the beginning of the down move, it basically went straight down to this low. So let's do that right now and see what it looks like when we drag it down to the lows. This is your 618 Fibonacci retracement. Once again, the premise here is that Bitcoin is receiving a little short-term extension since the price is almost at its all-time high on the 618 Fibonacci retracement. I was monitoring social media. All of a sudden, all the influencers out there are talking about, oh, the next bull run starting, by the way, how many times I've heard that over the last few months every time Bitcoin goes up a few days in a row, and listen, eventually they'll be right, no doubt about it. But my point is that it's very freeing to be able to use the charts like we do here at Verified Investing and focus on data, because data tells you truth. There's a lot of narratives that are spun because a lot of people want Bitcoin to go up and become, we all want to become rich, right? But the answer is eventually I do believe Bitcoin will go up. It's just there's so many opportunities and insights to be made along the way and profits to be made along the way, both long and short, while we're waiting for that move. So anyways, just very cool to understand there. I did unload my last long position with members in Smart Money Crypto yesterday. I think we got 6 or 7 winners there just in the last 2 weeks, most of them 15 to 20%, because I was buying the dip, right? And again, you might say, well, why was he buying the dip? Well, obviously there was technical reasons right here, right? So I was purchasing a bunch of altcoins because we hit that technical line, and guess what? The price went whoosh straight back up. Now we're hoping for a tiny retrace. I don't know how much I'll look for here. It's a swing trade, so we'll see what kind of pullback we get. But the idea is we probably get a pullback, same thing on Ethereum. If we look at Ethereum, we can see the same sort of thing. It pushed up right into some key resistance, and it's just checking back a little bit here, which is very normal for price to do all right. And again, it's a matter of just noticing 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 green candles, essentially 8 move up in a row. Yes, it could go 9, it could go 10, but as you get more and more up, candles probably ability start to increase that you're going to get a pullback, and that is the key here, and you're seeing it today also right into this little level. Next, I won't show you the chart, but there was some resistance. Let's have a look at gold. There hasn't been much movement there, but it's back above this important level, so I'm keeping a careful eye on it to see if we close above this high pivot. If we do, it negates this topping tail. Here was a topping tail. You can see how it played out to the downside, eventually topping tails get negated because eventually price usually goes up, and so we'll watch to see if that happens. If it does it confirm? And if it confirms, you're probably headed to 2,500. So again, watch that closely there. I'll be keeping an eye and updating members of Smart Money stocks and ETFs and the commodity service out there. Silver doesn't have much going on, so I'm not going to waste your time on silver today at this point, but we'll update you. But the big one for me, and this has been my flagship call in the commodity sector with you guys over the last 2 weeks, was saying that there was a major high being put in here on oil, that we got our check back, a little bounce, and then look, we're starting to break here. So this is exactly how I drew it up, because probabilities were kind of guiding me on this, and we should see a continuation move to the downside on oil. But again, very nice little trading opportunity there, shorting right up in this upper range and starting to come down. Speaking of commodities and energy, though, a potential long trade, and this is an interesting one. If we look at natural gas, I've been telling you guys for 2 weeks, Careful, it could come all the way back down into this key area of support here on the chart. And sure enough, it has come all the way down and is now kissing that level. And I did start nibbling on long trades down here, guys. It got close enough yesterday where I said, all right, you know what? Probability-wise, of course, there's no guarantee, but looking at it, it looks like it could be nearing a bottom. I'm leaving myself room to add here, here, and here if need be, but we should get some sort of retrace bounce if we're talking level C, this little middle point right here. That would be my expected target, a midpoint, a retrace. By the way, that's a classic mem top. Let me do that as my last little teaching thing for you guys. So what you're seeing here is a classic M pattern, and just to show you guys what usually happens when you have an M top, which is we talked about that earlier, right? So here's your M when you get the A. So MA is the pattern, and then WV is the bullish, right? MA is the bearish pattern, WV pattern is the bullish. This is an MA. So here's your M, right? And what M's do is they get the AA, and the A generally, and this is something I teach in more in-depth in the Winning Trader series, it goes right up to the midpoint of the M before the next leg lower. So the idea is that you likely could see a move back right in here, and then we could see first the price of Bitcoin fell more than 3% after MTX traded almost 100,000 BTC, leading to market anxiety. Renewing worries about MTGX-related activities contributed to Bitcoin's fall from its high of $165,000, which it reached earlier this year. Probably in anticipation of reimbursements to creditors, the exchange moved about 92,000 BTC, or about $5.7 billion, from his cold wallet. This shift accounts for a quarter of the overall value of the trade. Assets storing Bitcoin market participants are understandably worried about a possible sell-off as MTGX is ready to pay out creditors. However, there are others who think these fears are overblown and don't reflect reality, even though the stock has dropped. With a short-term holder cost basis or realized price of $164,800, Bitcoin is still hovering near important support levels. The chief executive officer of BlackRock has also called for Bitcoin to be included in everyone's portfolio, describing it as digital gold and a buffer against economic uncertainty.